A new bill being proposed by a local representative is trying to make crossing railroad tracks to public land legal. News 8's Eric Jacobson spoke with business owners today about the bill and joins us now with more.
Brittany, for over 150 years, directly crossing a rail track into public land was legal in Wisconsin. But enacted in 2005 and enforced specifically over the last year, crossing those tracks became illegal, and rail companies have began to issue verbal warnings to fishers that have crossed over to the Mississippi. And now local lawmakers want to change it back to the previous rules. Owner of Captain Hook's Bait and Tackle, Mark Clements, sees a wide variety of people pass through his store in Genoa.
This is probably 95% fishermen come in here looking for bait, tackle, places to go, places to ice fish, places to take their boat.
And for years, fishers and other wildlife enthusiasts have crossed rail tracks to get to the Mississippi.
In the spring and fall, you can have a few hundred a day come through the doors.
But in the last year, rail companies have stepped up their efforts to enforce a law enacted in 2005 that actually makes crossing the tracks illegal, except at public intersections.
Nobody knew about it. Nobody heard about it until about a year ago. And a year ago, a detective stopped in here at the shop and said, guess what? You can't cross the tracks anymore. And that's when it started.
Rail company BNSF says it's about public safety.
We've been working for about the past year to educate the public in our corridor on that, and really to talk about the need to improve safety, and the way to do that is by crossing at these designated railroad crossings.
Currently, there are only a handful of crossings down the Mississippi, which Clement says makes reaching popular fishing sites more difficult.
Word of mouth travels very fast in this industry. And so you get a lot of phone calls and guys are saying, oh, we don't have access to the river, well, we're just not going to come up there anymore.
Representative Lee Nearson recently introduced a bill reverting back to the previous requirements, allowing people to walk directly over a railroad track to public land, which is something BNSF opposes.
Still illegal to walk on the tracks, loiter, or just be on the tracks, so this is just straight across, a straight line, straight across to get off the right-of-way in the tracks.
Clements says while there is a public crossing in Genoa, he's still unsure of his future if the current law continues.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, if you don't have access to the river, then why have a business?
The Federal Railroad Administration reports there were 9 deaths in Wisconsin involving trespassing on railways in 2015. Critics of the current law point out, however, that some of those numbers also include trespassers that had been laying down on the tracks, suicides, as well as driving across tracks with a vehicle.
All right, thanks so much, Eric. The bill recently passed in the State Assembly and now heads to the Senate. If it passes there, it will head to the governor's desk for his signature.